In this Pathfinder Kingmaker guide, we'll take a look at Harrim. He is a grumpy, chaotic cleric, and with this build he'll stay that way because it is the most efficient fashion to build him in. Clerics have very powerful spells at their disposal, and it would be a waste not to use that. Clerics on their own are a powerful bunch, and although they do not get many feats and abilities automatically, they make up that difference with the amount of spells they have at their disposal. Clerics have, next to normal spells, the special ability to channel positive energy and channel positive energy damage undead. Positive energy heals allies, and positive damage undead energy is great against undead enemy types. The problem with Harrim and channel positive energy damage undead is that it uses charisma as its modifier instead of wisdom, and Harrim has no charisma modifier. However, we can work around this with Eagle's Splendor spell and accessories that buff his charisma attribute. Some of the cleric abilities also depend on the domain they choose, and Harrim is a chaotic cleric, so he will receive these feats and abilities. Heavy Flail Proficiency. Touch of Chaos. In short, it makes enemy attacks less dangerous when applied on them. Chaos Blade adds the anarchic property to wielded weapon. Weapons with the anarchic property deal more damage to lawful enemies, but it bestows a permanent negative level to lawful wielders. Destructive Smite adds half of cleric level to damage rolls. Destructive Aura. All attacks made against targets affected by this aura, including your party, have half of their cleric level added to damage, and critical hits are automatically confirmed. This is an extremely situational ability, since it affects allies as well and can lead to premature death of your party. Wisdom is the most important attribute for clerics because it increases difficulty to resist spells, as well as the number of spells you can use. With such an attribute spread, Harrim is great as a secondary tank and healer and spellcaster, but he starts off with -1 to dexterity modifier, which reduces his armor class. That can be solved with Cat's Grace and accessories, so you are free to spend all attribute points into wisdom. Harrim does not have many points to spend, so they should be distributed accordingly. Lore Nature, Lore Religion, Perception, and Knowledge Arcana are all good choices because they are boosted initially through class skill and attribute bonuses. The feats needed for this build are oriented around increasing survivability. Harrim can go down quickly if he does not have high armor class or if he fails a lot of concentration checks, so we need to counter these weaknesses with feats. If you plan on using spells from any spell school that does not have any real benefit from spell and greater spell focus feats, then switch those two with extra channel. Clerics have a lot of really good spells at their disposal, and they also have the special ability to convert any spell to cure wounds. For this build, we're going to focus Necromancy, buffing and negative status effect removal spells. However, you can focus any spell school you want that would complement the playstyle you desire. Necromancy has some high damaging abilities like Destruction and Harm that do a decent amount of damage, even if a saving throw succeeds. Spell Focus and Greater Spell Focus make them harder to resist, and that is why we need these feats. The following are some of the Necromancy spells I like to use. Buffing and negative status effect removal spells are extremely important to help out allies and keep Harrim alive. Harrim needs Shield of Faith, Magical Vestment, Frightful Aspect, Owl's Wisdom, and it would go a long way if an ally could cast Cat's Grace on Harrim to remove his negative dexterity modifier. When you cast all of these spells in succession, his armor class will skyrocket and his spells will be much harder to resist. The following is a list of spells I have chosen to help with various things, but feel free to switch and add whichever you like. The best thing we can do for Harrim is to use heavy armor and either a heavy or tower shield to boost his armor class as high as possible. And do not forget to take the tower shield proficiency feat if you plan on using it. Belt of Dexterity is a great choice if you do not want to waste Cat's Grace on Harrim. Any constitution bonus is also welcome here to make him just a bit tankier. Harrim built like this is great in tandem with Valerie or any other melee character with a shield and the shield wall feat. So, keep him in the front lines, but before that, put Shield of Faith, Magical Vestment, and at later levels, Frightful Aspect. That will make him hard to hit, thus ensuring his survival. Thanks to combat casting, you can avoid some attacks of opportunity when casting in combat. Do not forget about team buffing spells like Prayer and Resist Energy Communal, because they are very helpful, so make sure you cast them before combat. And that is all there is to it. It mostly comes down to spell choices, so a lot of it is interchangeable depending on what you want from Harrim. Stay tuned for more Pathfinder builds coming throughout October and November.